Welcome to Viata's Tiny House Village and Soul Purpose Healing. Once again, Blog Talk Radio is having technical problems, so I am broadcasting on Facebook Live and YouTube, Viata's Tiny House Village. So I want to take this moment. We have a great show for you today. It's Black History Month. Why is it Black History Month in December? Because we need a constant reminder of the contributions that Native Americans and African Americans and Black Americans have made to the greatness of the United States of America. So tonight, we're going to delve into a little history of Native and Black Americans, African Americans, and decide whether you want to build your own strength, power, and mental capacity, just knowing what our ancestors have been through. We are here to promote love, compassion, and wisdom, and our ancestors laid the foundation because they survived. So let's welcome my YouTube family with a little tour of my tiny house village. Here we go. And there we go. There's my horse. But let's keep the music going with my favorite Christian artist, or one of my favorite Christian artists, Becca Shea, because we need our ancestors tonight to guide the way to the new reality that we're in, becoming the media, the most important media of our day, the Female Solution and Soul Purpose Healing and Viata's Tiny House Village. So let's drum in the energy of our ancestors with Becca Shea and expect the best.
And has blood has ransomed people for God. From every tribe and language, people, every nation. Where warriors are falling, there's a resurrection coming. It's your time to rise and shine. Wake up, you sleeping giant. The wounds of injustice are being healed by the beat. Oh yeah, it's bringing us power through unity. Where warriors are falling, there's a resurrection coming. Dry bones come alive. Yeah, wake up, you sleeping giant. Your heartbeat, I feel it. Yeah, I feel your heartbeat. I feel it. Yeah, I feel your heartbeat. I feel it. I feel your heartbeat. Feel it. I feel it. Yeah, I feel it. Yes, you are. Bring us together. Bring us together. We cry. Yes, you are. Bring us together. Bring us together. Together we cry. Yes, you are. Bring us together. Bring us together. We cry. Out, out for your heartbeat. Your heartbeat. Oh, give us your heartbeat. Yeah. This is the hour to know whose side to stand by. Raise up a standard in battle for every fellow tribe. Our warriors are fighting, there's a revival igniting. Search for such a time. Yeah, arise, you blazing fire. Brave and stand firm and listen to your destiny. The rhythm of our Father moves with victory. Where warriors are fighting, there's a revival igniting. So so God, and arise, blazing fire. Your heartbeat, I feel it. Yeah, I feel your heartbeat. I feel it. Yeah, I feel your heartbeat. I feel it. I feel your heartbeat. Feel it. I feel it. Yeah, I feel it. Yes, you are. Bring us together. Bring us together. We cry. Yes, you are. Bring us together. Bring us together. Together we cry. Yes, you are. Bring us together. Bring us together. We cry. Out, out for your heartbeat. Your heartbeat. Oh, give us your heartbeat. Yeah. Yes, you are. Bring us together. Bring us together. We cry. Yes, you are. Bring us together. Bring us together. Together we cry. Yes, you are. Bring us together. Bring us together. We cry. Out, out for your heartbeat. Your heartbeat. Oh, give us your heartbeat. Yes, you are. Bring us together. Bring us together. We cry. Yes, you are. Bring us together. Bring us together. Together we cry. Yes, you are. Bring us together. Bring us together. We cry. Out, out for your heartbeat. Your heartbeat. Oh, give us your heartbeat.
Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. We give thanks this evening for Blog Talk not working and for YouTube working and Facebook working. So we've come here tonight to talk about Black history. No, Blog Talk is not working. So Mama Bonfire is on YouTube. Thank you, Mama Bonfire, because that's where we're going to be tonight. And you can always call in the On Air Everywhere Network 727-731-5192 if you'd like to make a comment. But Blog Talk is slowly leaving the planet, leaving the internet, because I imagine they're having so many difficulties that they can't handle it. So we're carrying on YouTube and Facebook for now. And I'm also on Rumble. So I'll be doing more on Rumble once my Blog Talk channel is done. But I won't stop listening to you and bringing you the best of the news and entertainment that you deserve. So tonight is Black History Month. Yes, it's December 1st, Black History Month, because February is not enough. And there are so many signs that people of African heritage, Native heritage, have lost their minds. And they have forgotten who they are. And the handlers of our brothers and sisters who are making lots of money have convinced them that they need to do some crazy things that are confusing the masses, confusing the public, confusing the population. I just see confusion among melanin people. That my role, I think, is to just bring you some Black history every month on this channel, YouTube, Facebook, because many of our brothers and sisters have forgotten who they are, where they came from. So tonight, I want to present a little history, Native American history, Black history, and give you some food for thought. Who are you? Why are you here? There's a desperate need among people to come out of confusion and division. We're so divided on so many issues that tonight we're going to bring you some history and some love, love, love about who you really are. I mean, you can manifest whatever you need, but it comes with a high frequency mind, vocal words that are high frequency, and a heart that beats with the rhythm of life. So, I want to start out tonight just sharing with you a little history that maybe some of you are not aware of, because the United States of America was built on the backs of slaves. I think we all are aware of that. But we also have from Canada to South America, Native American cultures, families, tribes that also contributed much to the construction and building up of this country, America, South America, North America, all over. And when we forget where we come from, we are forgetting about the strength within us, the resilience within us, the fact that I'm sitting here living and breathing, even though there was a genocide promoted or committed on my Native American ancestors, I'm still here. So that should tell you a lot about the divine plan for melanin people and people of consciousness, whether you're dark or white. If you have consciousness, you probably have some Native American ancestors who are working on your behalf even today, because we can't do it without them. These days, you got to have some help on the in the third, fourth, in the fourth, fifth dimension. We need the help. That's why we do drumming and becachet, and we set it in our mind and hearts that our ancestors are helping us today, because we have to have help. It's just the most chaotic times that we've been in. And so let's look at some history tonight. Let's just be reminded of where we came from and how our ancestors sacrificed to help us navigate through these difficult times. So let me start with just the Native American. When you look at the Native American genocide, oh my goodness, it's just such a horrendous time. And yet we're here, we survived. So I'm going to pull up a few of some historical facts about our ancestors who came, did the work, suffered, died, built, shared, had babies, had lots of babies, back then. And yet we're still here. So let's just look at that, the genocide of Native Americans, indigenous people. And we have to make up our minds where we're going to go from this. Let's just start with the genocide of indigenous, because that is probably the most horrific and the most unbelievable, that we still have any babies that were born, considering what was done to our women, the women, indigenous women. So I think we'll start there, and then we're going to be sharing with you tonight some history about Native Americans and slaves in the United States. and how we can be so grateful. Yes, after Thanksgiving, we can give gratitude that our ancestors survived the most unbelievable circumstances. But the fact that we're here, we have the power, the strength, the resilience, and more within us to keep the candle lit and to keep it going. So here's a little clip about the genocide of indigenous women that took place.
For many years, Native American women were subjected to a horrific practice known as forced sterilization. This practice, which began in the 1800s and continued well into the 1970s, involved the forced or coerced sterilization of indigenous women without their informed consent. Many of these women were targeted because they were deemed unfit to bear children due to factors such as poverty, disability, or perceived social deviance. Others were targeted simply because of their race. The sterilization procedures were often carried out without proper medical care, resulting in complications and sometimes even death. This practice was part of a broader effort by the U.S. government to control the reproduction of marginalized groups, and it had devastating consequences for Native American communities. For many years, Native American women were subjected to a horrific practice known as forced sterilization. This practice, which began in the 1800s and continued well into the 1970s, involved the forced or coerced sterilization of indigenous women without their informed consent. Many of these women were targeted because they were deemed unfit to bear children due to factors such as poverty, disability, or perceived social deviance. Others were targeted simply because of their race. The sterilization procedures were often carried out without proper medical care, resulting in complications and sometimes even death. This practice was part of a broader effort by the U.S. government to control the reproduction of marginalized groups, and it had devastating consequences for Native American communities. For many years, Native American women were subjected to a horrific practice known as forced.
Now, now you would think that how in the world do a people survive that type of thing, and yet the generations continue to come and go and come and go. So we are part of a very strong lineage, a very strong heritage that it's time we take full advantage of by manifesting exactly what we need to move forward and to thrive, not just to survive. It's time for us to thrive. And we look at the horrendous things that took place, we can thrive because we have a purpose, such a strong divine purpose. So here's another piece of genocide in Native America.
1492 was 140 million people. In 1600, it was 15 million people. That's 125 million directly dead, but it's not because it's 5 generations. It's 108 years, 5 generations. That's 20 years for a generation. That means there's all these women making babies during that time period. So to drop the population by 125 million, you probably have to kill 175 million people because you got to kill the babies too. The population of Native Americans in 1492 was 140 million people. In 1600, it was 15 million people. That's 125 million directly dead, but it's not because it's 5 generations. It's 108 years, 5 generations. That's 20 years for a generation. That means there's all these women making babies during that time period. So to drop the population by 125 million, you probably have to kill 175 million people because you got to kill the babies too. The population of Native Americans in 1492 was 140 million people. In 1600, it was 15 million people. That's 125 million directly dead, but it's not because it's 5 generations. It's 108 years, 5 generations. That's 20 years for a generation. That means there's all these women making babies during that time period. So to drop the population by 125 million, you probably have to kill 175 million.
So there was so much death and destruction and genocide. How in the world are we here? That's my question tonight. How in the world are the children of Native Americans and slaves? How did we survive? That's the question we can ask, and then we can remember the power and the strength that is in us to do greater things. Here's more.
Million Native Americans. By the late 19th century, that number plummeted to less than 300,000 due to diseases and brutal violence brought on by European colonization. Known as the Trail of Tears, Native American tribes such as the Cherokee, the Choctaw, and the Seminole were forcefully relocated from their lands in the southeastern United States to present-day Oklahoma and further. Countless massacres were initiated by European settlers in the 19th century, killing scores of Indians in order to push westward. Notable massacres include the Sand Creek Massacre in 1864 and the Wounded Knee Massacre in 1890. In the mid-20th century, the U.S. government forcibly sterilized thousands of Native Americans as part of a eugenics program aimed at controlling the population of indigenous peoples. The most evil act, though, was the complete destruction of Native American culture and identity. Before European contact, there were approximately
So we see this pattern in America to get rid of Native Americans. From the beginning, the settlers came, they offered all these great things, and then we just celebrated what? Thanksgiving? That many people believe was a great event and it represented love and generosity. But of course, many people know the truth about Thanksgiving and the Holocaust that took place when a strange people came to America and were met with natives, and what their intentions were just pure evil. It was discovered. So now we're looking at the children of the Holocaust from Thanksgiving. And this is how many children feel about that event.
The people don't understand that there was a Holocaust in America. When you displace a people, when you try to assimilate them, and you systematically genocide them for hundreds of years, that's a Holocaust. With the government, they relocated them, and then they tried to assimilate them. And then when they realized, oh, well, actually, we don't want these dirty Indians to be assimilated with us. So we're just going to deprive them of food and water and take away their way of life. And, hopefully they just die out. And it's still happening today. No one really wants to talk about it because it's a very touchy subject, but it's my duty as an indigenous person to learn and speak about these things. The people don't understand that there was a Holocaust in America. When you displace a people, when you try to assimilate them, and you systematically genocide them for hundreds of years, that's a Holocaust. With the government, they relocated them, and then they tried to assimilate them. And then when they realized, oh, well, actually, we don't want these dirty Indians to be assimilated with us. So we're just going to deprive them of food and water and take away their way of life. And, hopefully they just die out. And it's still happening today. No one really wants to talk about it because it's a very touchy subject, but it's my duty as an indigenous person to learn and speak about these things. The people don't understand that there was a Holocaust in America. When you displace a people, when you try to assimilate them, and you systematically genocide them for hundreds of years, that's a Holocaust. With the government, they relocated them, and then they tried to assimilate them. And then when they realized, oh, well, actually, we don't want these dirty Indians to be assimilated with us. So we're just going to deprive them of food and water and take away their way of life. And, hopefully they just die out.
Now, that's the attitude of many young Native Americans. But then there are others who present a different lesson from their traditions and from the history. And so we want to present many perspectives on this horrible history of genocide and Holocaust, and then reveal to our own psyche how blessed we are, how fortunate we are. And then here's Shea Ucero. She has a lesson from her Pueblo tradition that is very unique from most people who have had negative experience in their culture. And I want you to just hear her experience and what it taught her as it should teach many of us.
Look at your hands. When I was 7 years old, my paternal grandfather told me that life can be seen on your hands. Grandpa Cero said that whenever you act inappropriate, you're left a mark. Do you see any marks on your hands? I don't. I've been pretty lucky. I've gone through most of my life without facing blatant racism. That changed after the election last November. My parents, my children, and I were attending a national conference. We were headed to the elevator with our luggage and my dad's wheelchair. There were 3 girls behind us from a dance competition 1 floor down. The door opens. The girls rush past us. "Excuse me, we were here first," my mother says. The girl's mother says, "Oh, they're late." Sees the empty wheelchair, says, "Besides, you're not crippled, you can wait." My mom and my son help my dad onto the elevator, and she turns to the girls and says, "We're elders. Weren't you taught to let elders go first?" Door closes. The mother turns on me. "I can't believe you say respect your elders when you're a bunch of uneducated Indians. Your elder wasn't crippled. I can't believe you brown people think you run this country." All I could do was stare at her, put my daughter behind me, and say nothing. We get on the elevator, and she continues yelling at me, "Quit staring at me. I don't need no damn voodoo curse put on me." The door closes. The girls are looking on their phones. They don't look up. One smirks. So I say, "Maybe you girls need to learn how to be on time to things. It would prevent undue stress. And it's real unfortunate you had to see how racist your mother truly is. Good luck with your competition." The door opens. The girls look up from their phones, mouths open, shocked. One of them mumbles a thank you as they go out the elevator. I immediately turn to my daughter and I apologize to her for having to witness that. As she and I are getting off the elevator, I see my dad's waiting for me. I have my daughter run to find her grandma, and I fell into my dad's hug and I cried. So what do we do when we're faced with someone whose ideals may conflict with our own? Do we try reasoning with them? Well, I guess we could try, but in the end, the only reaction that matters is yours. In our Pueblo teachings, we're told, "Imi bisht," don't act up, be patient. So what are you going to do when you're faced with an uncomfortable or unexpected situation? Honestly, I wanted to punch that woman. I wanted her to physically feel how much her words hurt me. But in the end, all I kept thinking about is this going to leave a mark on my hands? Look at your hands again. Now think about your own life.
So there's the wisdom coming out of a traumatic past, of memories of abuse, of oppression. But this young lady is bringing out the wisdom that all of us have within us to realize how much we have been honored by our ancestors to carry the torch forward. Now, I have one more modern Native American story I want to share with you because it became personal. My grandson told me today that he wanted to learn hula hooping. I'm like, really, hula hooping? Okay. He's very active, very sports minded. So that's all he wants for Christmas is a hula hoop. So the synchronicity and all that is when I came to my place, my study, my house. I started looking for videos to play that would um, illustrate and reveal the Native American experience. And one of the first videos I came upon was a modern Native American story about hula hooping. Only it's not your typical hula hooping. This young man has such a beautiful gift of the hoops. And I want to share this with you to show the brilliance, the magnificence, the resilience, the strength that has come out of such a traumatic past with Native Americans. And I showed this to my grandson this evening, and his eyes were wide open. So I thought, wow, we're looking at another generation of someone creating something good out of the fire of trauma. So watch this young man demonstrate what he's using in his own culture to bring about a powerful example to the world, even of what he's learned from the lessons he's learned from the negative past that he's bringing into the future to teach even my grandson about the culture of Native Americans. This is the modern Native American story about hoops. So check this out.
I found the nearest building. I hid behind it. And I removed my oversized clothes. I knew I had to find Miss Johnson, and I had to tell her that I was going to dance. I eventually found her. I gave her my CD, and I said, when I look over at you, press play. I approached the quad, and I got the attention of all my classmates. As I set down my hoops one by one, they began to all look up at me. I looked back at them. I took a deep breath. And I gave Miss Johnson the cue.
I hope you know there's no one else like you. Hey, oh, hey, oh, hey, oh. Hey, ya, 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 hey, oh, hey, ya, I hope you know I never wanna see you go. I hope you know you've always been the one. I hope you know I'll never break your heart in two. I hope you know there's no one else like you. Hey, oh, hey, oh, hey, oh. Hey, I hope you know I never wanna see you go. I hope you know you've always been the one. I hope you know I'll never break your heart in two. I hope you know there's no one else like you. Ayo, hey, oh, hey, oh.
When I came to school the next day, I was only on campus for about 5 minutes when my best friend runs up to me and says, "Eric, have you seen this?" He hands me the school newspaper, and on the cover is a picture of me with my hoops with the title, Lord of the Rings.
So there you have it. A young man taking on the culture of his ancestors, his grandparents, and he becomes Lord of the Rings. Among his classmates, among his friends, neighborhood, we can take on the beauty of African and Native culture and become masters of this universe. So we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, I want to share with you the African slave person who brought a history to us to help us understand our resilience and strength. And it just goes on and on and on. There's so many stories, but when we come back, I'll share with you one story about the last survivor of the African slave trade and how his ancestors are bringing out the best of that experience.
The Female Solution Global Radio TV show invites you to an invigorating, empowering, interactive conversation with our team of hosts Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Central Time. Start your week with Monday Morning Mindfulness with Zelda Speaks. Tuesdays, Gathering of the Griots with Asada. Wednesdays, Repairing Family Relationships with Naima and co-host Kareem Hamid. Thursdays, Veggie Brunch Live with Angela. Fridays, Health and Well-Being with Beata. Saturdays, tune in 12 noon to 2 p.m. Central Time. First Saturday, Global Talks with Zana. Second Saturday, Walk in Your Divine Authority with Mama Joy. Third Saturday, Move Around with Deborah. Fourth Saturday, be a judge on the virtual Teens, Tweens, and Tots Talent Contest. And fifth Saturday, join us on location as we conversate at the Elevate Cafe, owner Jackie Brooks. Sundays, join us 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Central Time for Soul Purpose Healing with Beata. Go to thefemalesolution.com to join us on our video or audio live streaming platforms. Listen at www.blogtalkradio.com/the-female-solution. Call in on the Blog Talk Radio Network 515-605-9325 or call in and comment on the On Air Radio Network 727-731-5192. We want to hear from you.
So, the last survivor of the transatlantic slave trade was a man by the name of Cujo. His story is so interesting, and we want to show you how that experience mirrors the transatlantic slave trade mirrors the Native American genocide Holocaust experience, and yet the children of these ancestors live on and do great things. So here's a little history about the last survivor of the transatlantic slave. And sorry, that's not the one I wanted to play because that's not, that's just a visual. Let me bring in the audio that gives you the sound of the history, not just the visual. So apologize for that. I had so many of these that I brought up. And I wanted you to hear about the Cujo Lewis and the Clotilda. Clotilda is what it was called.
Let's take a look at the life of Cujo Lewis, one of the last survivors of the Clotilda. In 1860, more than 50 years after the United States abolished the international slave trade, the Clotilda sailed into the deep south where slavery remained an absolute. Skulking through the darkness, Africans who had been captured in the country and sold into slavery were illegally offloaded in Mobile, Alabama. Among them was a member of the Yoruba people of Benin named Oluwale Kasola. Kasola was a son, grandson, a brother, and a friend. Training as a soldier, he had been a member of the Oro Aruba Secret Society. Without warning, his town was attacked. Many were killed, and the rest, including Kasola, were taken prisoner. Kasola soon found himself in a barracoon, a holding prison for those who were to be sold. In a few short weeks, Kasola was headed with 109 other prisoners on board the Clotilda, the 45-day journey. Via the Middle Passage was filled with suffering and humiliation. Once in Mobile, Kasola became property of James Maher and was given the name Cujo. For 5 long years, Cujo was a slave, trolling abroad a steamship by day, living under Maher's house by night. In 1865, when Union soldiers arrived in Mobile, Cujo was freed and claimed the name Lewis. He soon married a woman by the name Abile, who had also survived the crossing on the Clotilda. With the other survivors, they attempted a return to their home in Africa, but unable to raise the needed funds, they remained in Alabama, purchased land from the Mahia family, and founded Africa Town. Africa Town society was developed in homage to their homeland, with a unique system of laws, churches, schools, and even a sheriff. Cujo and Abele had 6 children, 5 boys and 1 girl. He worked for years as a shingle maker before being injured and becoming the church sexton. By the early 1920s, nearly all of the survivors of the Clotilda had passed, including his wife Abele, leaving only Cujo Lewis, Sally Smith, and Matilda McCreer. Cujo's story has been featured in a number of articles and books and pictures, and today his legacy lives on in Africa Town. As one of its founders and one of the last survivors of Clotilda, Cujo Lewis died on July 17, 1935, and he was buried at the Plateau Cemetery in Africa Town. Although the Clotilda was burned,
So the beauty, of course, with that story is that his children lived on, and we actually have some footage of the women who are descendants of this man. So let me share with you some of the women who are still alive today, I believe, who are the descendants of Cujo, showing once again that we are in a divine order of life and children and ancestors and more children. And we're here to bring the light to.
Matilda was a miraculous, courageous woman who stood her grounds and who stood for justice.
Gwendolyn and Deborah are sisters, and Clarice in yellow is their cousin. And they are all descendants of a once enslaved woman named Matilda McCreer, believed to have been the youngest person on board the Clotilda, the last known U.S. slave ship to bring captives from Africa, arriving in Mobile Bay in 1860. It was this letter from a London researcher that introduced them to their great-grandmother. Using census and other genealogical data, it links Matilda to her descendants here in Alabama. It begins in 1931. After learning her son would get money from the government for fighting in World War I, Matilda sought payback of her own.
She thought that she deserved some compensation as well from being a slave, and being brought over here as a slave. So she walked 17 miles from her home to the county courthouse, Dallas County Courthouse in Selma, to go to the judge to seek compensation. And obviously she didn't get anything, but that just shows you how determined and courageous she was.
This documented event allowed researchers to work backward to the moment Matilda was kidnapped from West Africa at the age of 2.
You know, but being 2 years old and at the bottom of a ship where she saw people die, she saw them die naturally, she saw them jump overboard because they didn't know what they were going to face. And for her to see this at 2 and had to grow up with this in her mind, I cannot imagine what it could have done to her. But and then on the other hand, it seems as if it made her a brighter, stronger person.
Yeah. These are pictures of 3 of Matilda's 17 children. Matilda settled in Africa Town, but her descendants spread out and are just learning all of the details of her remarkable journey.
I feel like that's something that the younger generation need to know. What we went through and what our grandparents went through, great-grandparents went through, for them to get where they are today.
Little did Matilda know when she made that trek to the courthouse, her children and children's children would follow in her footsteps, decades later taking part in the many demonstrations here in Alabama that touched off the civil rights movement.
And that's what really sparked us. And us being foot soldiers ourselves, we didn't know that that's where we got our strength and our determination from too.
Yes.
And to read all of this about Matilda, and you look back in our lives, then it tells us a whole lot about ourselves.
Carla Wade, WBTM.
So there you have the strength, determination, and here we are in 2024 in lots of confusion. And I think part of the confusion is that we are now moving from third dimensional realities of war, division, racism, confusion, sexism, into a new dimension of peace and harmony. And one of the things I'm seeing a lot is that melanin women are looking at some of the superstars of our day, like Beyonce, what's her name, Rihanna, and even Serena Williams. I saw a video or a picture of Serena Williams, how all 3 of these women are changing their skin color and they're changing their hair color to blonde. And I see, well, this is why many of the women today are confused if they're putting these type of women on a pedestal and ignoring the culture and the history of a people, Native American people, African American people, who brought us to this point in our history to thrive and to demonstrate the resilience, the strength, the determination, and not to think that we need to be more like Hollywood or people who are demonstrating their wealth by changing their skin color and they're donning the blonde wigs. And so every month is now Black History Month on YouTube, Viata's Tiny House Village, because we are such a powerful people, such a resilient, strong people, and we can raise our vibration by simply meditating on where we've come from, where we are now, and how the Creator has given us divine guidance all the way back from slave times in Africa and Native American genocide, Holocaust. We are still here as children of a people that were slave in the on the cotton fields and uh, um, the Trail of Tears. All the stories, all the history that we've heard has brought us to this point of realizing how powerful we really are if we take the time to honor our ancestors and remember their stories, learn from their stories, and create the new generation, as I am doing with my son's children, create new knowledge, new wisdom, and new inspiration to create new things, different things, and to create and bring forth children, new generations that will honor the history of our ancestors. So we're coming to the end of the show. We only are doing an hour tonight, and we're on air everywhere network. And if there's anyone on the network who has wants to speak, I do have that my phone open, and just start open your mic and speak, and I'll let you have a comment. Otherwise, I'm grateful to be here to share this information. And I want to just end with a meditation in Native American voices of the rhythm of the heart, actually it's called. And I know I can't play this very long, but everything, the videos, the music that we play are for educational purposes only. I don't own the rights to this music, but this is for your inspiration to remember that the rhythm of your heart that's still beating today, is available to create in you, manifest in you miracles. And whatever it is you need, it's available when the rhythm of your heart is activated to bring forth the divine order of things. Let me just see, rhythm of the heart. Well, and in the meantime, I'm trying to open up rhythm of the heart. Okay, here we go. Let us take a moment to feel the heartbeat of our ancestors and to feel your own heartbeat pumping the blood through your veins that actually was the same blood that was in your ancestors is now in your veins, giving you new inspiration, renewed power, renewed strength to do whatever it is you've come to do. Your sole purpose today is to walk in the divine power of your ancestors and your Creator, to bring forth the peace, the love, the joy, the wisdom that we so need right now on this planet. So take a moment to just breathe in the truth of who you really are and exhale. Bring in the truth of who you are and exhale. And bring in love. Just breathe in love. If you have any health problems, any challenges you're going through, just breathe in love and listen to your heartbeat that comes from many, many ancestors of resilience, determination, and strength. May you continue in this month of December with a heart of gratitude. A heart of gratitude for all that your ancestors suffered so that you can be here today to live a life of truth and wisdom. That's what it was all about, the suffering, the deaths, the renewal, the transformations. It's all about so you could live a life of truth and wisdom and bring forth the children and the new generation of enlightened and powerful beings to do what your ancestors started, and that is to ride that horse, ride that wave of love, compassion, and wisdom, and purpose. Purpose. We are all here for a divine purpose. So may you walk in that this month of December. Put down the idea that you have to purchase gifts this month, and let your energy be the gift that is so needed. Your energy of love, your energy of truth and wisdom. Let that be your gift in this month. There's sometimes confusion and consumerism. Let it start from your heart of love. Not thinking about purchasing and buying gifts, but giving of love, wisdom, and truth. The spirit of Yeshua, HaMashiach, spirit of Yeshua, also known as Jesus, is truth and wisdom. Truth, wisdom, and love. So may you be the Messiah in this month and not try and be any commercialized being that has to buy, and get into more debt. Forget it. Just be the gift of love and truth. And I give thanks for all of you. May you enjoy the rest of this week of December. The month of December is here. Let's enjoy it. 12-1 is a 3, 4. This whole day is a 3, so just enjoy the energy of our ancestors, their love, their strength, their determination, and their resilience. May it be in you. So we're going to say good night, and let's see. Good night and we're going to say goodbye to our global family. Let's see if I can find them. History.
Hello?
Well, my global family video just went away.
Hello? This is Khadijah's Creations.
Is someone okay? Can I?
This is good. Author Khadija from that wrote the book, The Torn Veil That Led to the Path of Healing. I'm also a spiritual advisor. And that's beautiful what you was just saying, because I just told my daughter about that I didn't want no gifts. I said I don't want no gifts. Because I'm just a highly spiritual person, and I really didn't grow up on holidays anyway. If you read my book, The Torn Veil That Led to the Path of Healing, and I just told her, I don't want any of that. I just want y'all to be good. I feel like I already have everything. I just got to get my financial stuff together. That's basically it, getting out of the debt and all that stuff, but everything else, I'm content with. I don't need gifts to validate, celebrations. I celebrate every day. I celebrate waking up every day in health and good health. I do my yoga. I'm a spiritual wellness coach / author. So basically, I'm just feeling blessed just to be here.
Yes.
Because like I said, I'm a survivor. I'm a a lot of things that could have happened to me in the years, if you read my testimony. So it's like right now, this is perfect what you was just saying. I just told my daughter tonight, she was like, "Ma, what do you mean? You don't want no gifts?" I said, I don't, because I feel like, we need more love. If you go on my Facebook page, you'll see my shirt says love, and basically that's what I represent, and I feel like that's what we need to show more of, that of compassion and empathy towards each other. It's just not enough of that, I do the arts and crafts with the children, for the parents. When I'm also a vendor. I have my own business. I'm an entrepreneur. So I kind of like take the arts and crafts and try to, integrate love and expression and things like that. We need to focus on those things, So it's you right on point with that tonight. And I just wanted to say, it's beautiful to hear that, because this is what we need. It's the end of the year. The end of the year got here so fast.
Oh yeah.
And it got here so fast. It's like, wow, I'm just glad November is out, because it was kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. And I'm like, thank you, God. I'm celebrating get out of November, because it was a lot going on that month, and I'm like, hey, I'm celebrating just that, getting up and being able to, be here in good health. And talked to Mama today just before the show, and she sounded good. And I'm saying, I'm blessed to have her. She the one introduced me when I got my book. So I self-published my book, The Torn Veil That Led to the Path of Healing. I got on the radio station because of her, in 2020 when I introduced my book. So I called her, and she sounded so beautiful tonight. And she was like, I'm just happy that she's okay. And, I want to make sure that I keep in touch with her to hear her voice and make sure she's fine, because we got to take care of our sisters, our aunts, our people.
Yes.
The people that look after us, we got to look after them. We got to make sure that they good, and it's not we got to show these young people, and
I'm on the call. I'm on the call. Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, I hear you. Hey, Mama.
Hey, Dr. V, can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead. I had my volume down on my phone, and I'm sorry. So thank you, sister. That was a beautiful testimony about your book, and how your daughter and you are relating and communicating about this month. That's so important
tonight. I was like, wow, it's like she's reading my mind. I had a discussion just before we got on the radio today, before I called Mama. And she was like, Ma, you got to stop being in that spiritual. You got to stop trying to save the world. It ain't that I'm trying to save the world. I know what I feel. I am a spiritual person. I have a testimony. I've experienced this. I know, and you know what your soul knows. You know what I'm saying? It's things that your soul knows that that you can't explain to other people, and like I said, I have a testimony. I'm a survivor. And I just want peace for everybody. That's my gift. That's my gift. I want to do. It's just peace for everybody, and people to show a little empathy towards each other and just work together.
Yes,
unity.
Yes. It starts with us. So thank you so much, sister, for sharing that, because that's what we need to hear. Now, did I hear Mama AZ is also on the?
You did.
Okay.
You did. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
hey,
go
Mama,
ahead.
I hear you.
Go ahead.
Okay, Dr. V.
Yes.
I tell you, I am so grateful. That hoop video.
Yes.
I know the communication from the other side is a fact. It's getting stronger. And before I get into what I really want to say, I'd like to dedicate this show to the family of Kevin Locke.
Okay.
Who is off the chain, excellent, world renowned known hoop dancer from reservation, the Pine Ridge.
Oh, really?
And I also, yes, he's a
Okay.
Baha'i.
Okay.
And I have him on film doing a blessing of my stones that I got from the battlefields on the reservation.
Oh,
They
awesome.
made their trek to South
Wow.
Carolina to Hemingway.
Wow.
And I also would like to dedicate this show to Leonard Peltier. And if the ones who do not know who Leonard Peltier is, he's an elder locked up from being involved in that episode in Pine Ridge, South Dakota, at Wounded Knee. Look him up. But I also would like to dedicate this show to my daughter, Shannon Lewis. I'm almost speechless, Dr. V, that you got that tape on that
the hoop dancer,
Cujo Lewis.
Yeah.
Because I sent not that one, but I sent that to my daughter about 10 years ago, 20, I don't know, a long time ago, because I've been looking for her people who she may be relatives of those people that you talked about on this show tonight.
Wow.
And I also would like to dedicate this show to Reverend A. Allen. I would like to dedicate this show to my mother, Maddie C. Cunningham Paris, and my dad, and Minister Cynthia Marie Williams, Art Henson. They're all communicating with me. Dr. V, everything that you put on your show tonight, I'm just telling you people, we have to pay attention to our dreams and what the ancestors are communicating, because this is real. And when Reverend Allen came to me in a dream, he sent me to the Yaqui tribe in Tucson. There on that land, there's an artist that put together the Trail of Tears in Tucson on that land. And to me, that's Reverend Allen's way of honoring his native blood. Because, see, many people know Reverend Allen as a healer here in Miracle Valley, Arizona, but not too much is talked about his mother being full-blood Cherokee. And these are the things that I intend to bring out to my family, especially to my brother Bobby, because many people think that I'm crazy. But I'm going to tell you, family who's listening, pay attention to your dreams, because this is the month of December.
December, yeah.
The veil is getting really thin.
Yes.
Don't think you're crazy when you see people walking and then the next day you hear that they have checked out of here. Because it happened to me on Thanksgiving. And Sister Myra Moss, they had her to call me Art and Brother Psyche. They're both on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
They had Sister Myra to reach out to me.
Okay.
And everything that Sister Myra shared with me, part of it is in your show tonight, Dr. V. Tonight, I want you to know that. And we're going to have a part 2. This is a series, actually. So I have so much more that I can share. But I give thanks to Reverend Allen because he was responsible for linking up with my mom and linking up with Sister Beth and getting me involved in moving forward with helping the youth, helping the trafficking, helping the children who are caught up in all of this trafficking. Family, it's about to get real. This is why I'm dedicating this to my daughter, the Lewis family, because DSS or whatever, they took my child from me. That's another story. And if it had not been for my granddad, who I found out wasn't my granddad biologically, and my dad being who they were, Masons, my daughter would have probably been locked up or on the other side. And I mean this. And so I have a fire within me to do whatever I can to bring awareness, attention to child trafficking and the massacres of the women on the res. Dr. V, I love you.
I love you too. I love you both.
Us. Thank us.
Thank both. Listen, that we are 3 sisters talking, connecting right now. And there's no accident because this is a 3, it's a 3, 12, 1, 24 is a 3. So
it's a 3. And what's so crazy is that I do numerology. I'm a numerologist.
Wow.
And guess what?
What?
When I did your show in 2020, I talked about my book. And guess what, Mama? November was the month of completion. So you could have lost a lot that month.
Yes.
And that's crazy how we both connecting, because this November was a hard month for me also. Completion means that everything was coming at you all at one time, sister.
Right.
That's why I checked on you. I said I need to call her, and I just called her just before the show. And yesterday was the last day of the month. I didn't get a chance to talk to you because I've been going through a lot of things since I've been in Ohio taking care of business. But God got us here tonight, but I keep in touch with you and I send you messages on your messenger. Always sending positive messages, but it's nothing like talking to you in person to hear your voice, and I just say I'm blessed to have you, because I wouldn't have gotten on a radio station without this sister right here, through someone that I met at the library that connected me. It's like God was working. I self-published my book, The Torn Veil That Led to the Path of Healing.
Yes.
And it's about
not me. It's about me.
No, but I'm saying, I know it was the spirit. It was something that happened. Yes. But God, I met him and he connected me with you. And it's just like, God was working it. You hear me?
Absolutely.
And like I said, the book is about surviving something like trafficking. You'll have to check it out. It's on Amazon. It's called The Torn Veil That Led to the Path of Healing. And some things sort of happened to me, sort of like the trafficking. And my mother got involved with some people and how I survived some things. So basically, it's like it's my testimony. And it's, I have a spiritual connection. And this is why I give readings. I'm a numerologist. I've been doing it for 30 years. And I'm spiritually connected. I feel things. I have gifts also. And that's why, I try to keep in touch with this sister, because I know that she's gifted also, and she's a sister, like a mom to me and a loving spiritual sister. And so are you, Miss V, Dr. V. got on your show, the Purpose Radio. That was a beautiful thing for me because I live through purpose, you know.
Yes,
and
yes.
I have a YouTube channel.
I want to put the name of your book in the comments. You said The Torn Veil That Led to the Path
of Healing. I was on your show in 2020 in January. I got on your show for the first time in 2020 and did your show about the torn veil that led to the path of healing.
I'm gonna put that in the comments so that people can go to Amazon. Let's see, the torn veil
that led to the path of healing by author Khadijah. And it's a black and white cover. It's me on the face. I have my face on there, and I have a veil on, and I'm telling my story. It's on Amazon. Yeah, I had to put it on there myself because I had people that were trying to keep me from telling my story. They didn't want they was trying to sabotage they didn't want me to get the story out. And I was like, I'm going to get this story out because it needs to be told. And I had to do it myself. I did it myself. I had no experience in doing this. Yeah. I just knew that I needed to tell that story so I could help others because this is what my path is. My path is to help people and to give them information and inspiration and teach them through my path. So
well, you need to come back on the show on Blog Talk or on Soul Purpose Healing. I'll contact you so we can get you back on the show, okay?
Oh, okay.
So we can.
Would you like to get my number?
Yeah. Do you want to give it over you can either give it over the air or send or have. Does Mama AZ has your number, right?
Yes, ma'am. I'll ship it to you, and that's so interesting because that's when I did my vision quest at Miracle Valley, Arizona, at Reverend A.A. Allen's resting spot for 14 days in 2020, and it was so much.
That's what I met you.
I'm telling you, it is so much, sisters, that is been coming down. And thank us, Dr. V, for being a part of my circle because you are giving me air for my bones. And meaning you're giving me strength to keep on motivating and navigating. Because it gets interesting, and people they get kind of like weirded out when I say I hear things and they're telling me this and they're telling me that. Well, they come to me like they did up there at Art's Cabin many moons ago. Even my nieces. Twins who decided to check out. They came to me and told me that they couldn't stay because they came for a particular purpose. And my niece and the family was not equipped to get them to the nth degree on their mission, what they came here. So they decided to check out. Well, I've allowed dear ones, not everybody, to come to me and tell me, and they told me the reason that they come to me is because I will listen. I will listen, and you, Dr. V, have given me a shot of B12. Dr. V, by things that you have physically researched and put up on your blog talk and your tiny house. I was told today, shut the heck up and be still.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Robbie, because you've done what you were supposed to do. Now you gotta take a chill pill and let somebody else.
But you know what? You be on point, though, sister. From my reading, you be on point when it comes to what you feel and see. So a lot of times people are intimidated because they intimidated of me also. I've been a spiritualist since I was born, and now that I do the numerology, they really be scared. You know what I'm saying? So the God gives everybody gifts, and I'm using mine for the good of the people. That's why I wrote the story, my testimony, and I still give spiritual information to help our people, to help keep us, aligned and help us stay focused, our mind, body, and spirit. We have to keep that body together. We have to cleanse ourselves. We have to take care of ourselves physically, mentally, and all that goes together, with how we eat and our diet and how we, resting and taking care of ourselves. I do massage therapy. I'm like a life coach, spiritual author.
Wow, you're busy. You're a busy lady.
Dr. V, I need to interject this right quick.
Okay.
Anyone who goes to the dispensary to get their herbs or the gummies or whatever the case may be very mindful, be very careful, because I bit a corner. I was in so much discomfort. I said, heck with this. And someone had gifted me this little package with the gummies, and I bit a corner of it. And this is the third time I've done this. I'm not doing that anymore. That lets me know that there's something wrong with those things at the dispensary. Too much chemicals. It gave me a freaking migraine. And if this sister hadn't called me, I wouldn't have been able to be on this show to share this. So family, please be careful about the gummies and the marijuana that you get from the dispensary because they're putting stuff in it.
Yeah. You got to know your source. You got to know your source, because things are. Big pharma is buying out a lot of corporations, and they're diluting it. They're diluting it. They're changing it. Who knows what they're doing? Big pharma is evil. So you have to be so careful. I want to leave you with 7 things. I mentioned this on my show on Friday, and someone asked me to repeat it. So 7 things you need to quit if you want to hear from the Creator clearly. So number 1, pouring time into things that add zero value to your life, like entertainment, fiction, books, less external noise. Have less external noise and be intentional and focused internally. Number 2, stop hanging with toxic, negative influences, people who are unconscious, basically. Go, leave them alone. Number 3, stop criticizing and judging others, and especially yourself. Mama AZ, stop criticizing yourself. Khadija, don't criticize yourself. You are in tune to the spirit of the cosmic universal energy, and whatever you say and do is going to trigger people. That's what I'm learning.
That's right.
And I don't make apologies anymore. I just don't make apologies. It's what I do. I trigger people.
Me either. Now, I know.
You gotta know. You gotta know that your heart is pure. Your heart is of love. Your heart is of wisdom. So that whatever is coming out of our mouth is pure truth, love, wisdom. And when people get, why'd you say that? I say, okay, what does that mean to you? Why are you triggered? That's the question we have to ask. So number 4, quit magnifying what's going wrong and magnify the good. Be optimistic about everything. Number 5, quit overdoing it. Stop being busy. Busyness is enemy of spiritual growth. Take time to just chill, go slowly, and at a pace that is in harmony with nature. Not rush.
Do that deep breathing and meditation music, like I put for my massage clients. I use that on my massage clients. And I put that meditation music on, and it helps them stay balanced. And I tell them to do the yoga before bed, and in the morning to help And it helps a lot. It really do.
We should be playing more 528 hertz, all the high frequency hertz music, because that's the music that the
hertz, don't you?
The collective, well, the collective spirit right now is one of like being pissed off and just negative. So we have to put out the positive music, the positive words, because there's a collective transition going on where people are, it's kind of chaotic, but if we bring in the love and the truth and the peace, it'll be okay. And then number 6, quit trying to please people. We don't do that anymore. No people pleasing.
Oh no, that stopped years ago with me when I left Ohio. I stopped that because they was pulling me. I had to get out, took my kids and left.
Yeah,
I had to.
And
I
then
had to do it for myself because I was trying to help everybody, and no one was. They was pulling me down with them, and no one was helping me.
Yeah,
I had to
that's not going to
leave it
change
behind,
things. And then lastly, quit overthinking, trying to reasoning and analyze. Like, oh well, should I do that? I don't know. Just do it with a pure heart, pure love, and the Creator will guide us into what's next. What's next? Yes. If we need to correct what we just did, we'll be guided to correct it. But if the Creator wants us to keep moving forward, that's what's going to happen. So I appreciate you ladies so much tuning in and having this discussion with us. We got some great things going to happen in the next few months and weeks, and so let's just be in harmony and synchronize.
I feel so good. I feel great. I told my daughter, I said, I don't need anything. I don't want nothing physical. I'm good. I am complete. I am happy. I am free and joyful. I dance every day.
Yes.
I've been taking not just line dance classes. I've been learning how to do ballroom dances. I've been creating creating the art with what you call it when you make those ceramic stuff. I enjoyed all type of different type of things. I've been really going in and just doing things that I've been wanting to do and networking with different people, and we just been coming together. The only thing is that it's the financial thing. I have to get that back up. But as far as I didn't understand to happen.
May I interject this?
Go ahead.
Like one of my medicine teachers and students, Lesage, people, they be tripping about, well, I gotta wait until I get this amount of money. I gotta wait. No. Get creative.
No. That's what I've been doing, getting creative.
Creative. It's not all about the money.
How much money you got?
It's not about that, because the Creator has a system. If we would only shut the hell up and listen, and I'm talking to myself too, we will find a way to get creative where you don't really need any money. You just need your time.
I'm right here by a rec center, and everything is free. Everything is free in there. And I've lived right next door to it. I've been going over there, and I've been joining the team and people that have businesses and connecting me with different sources of grants and all type of stuff.
Please, everybody who's listening, please, and I'm talking to myself too, don't trip about the money. I will send you Lesage's video.
Okay.
The little child is off the chain, and I had the bounty of her being with me for 9 days on the reservation at the Yaqui tribe. That was the best thing that has ever happened to me since I left North Carolina. And Art Henson, I'm coming back. I'm coming back to the camp.
All right.
Well, we're
gonna have to start getting some seminars and some stuff together, meet and greets.
Yes,
that's what I'm trying to do with my book. Trying to get some meet and greets, some sisters together. We can do vending and
all right. Well, this is the month. This is the month for that.
Motivate each other.
Yes, we're going to talk about that more this month. So you ladies, please have a good evening. And
thank you so much for allowing me on here tonight.
I will thank you for joining us. We are all one. We are all one family, and we say thank us. We are united in spirit and soul, And so we're going to say good night to our female family right now. Everybody be blessed.
To our family in China, xie xie. India, Dhanyavad. Japan, arigato. Korea, kamsamnida. Russia, spasiba. Germany, danke. Poland, jonkuyon. France, merci. Spain, gracias. Italy, grazie. Egypt, shukran. Ghana, madasi. Nigeria, eshe. South Africa, ngiabonga. Senegal, jaref. Kenya, asante. Israel, toda. Pakistan, shukriya. Afghanistan, tashakur. Saudi Arabia and Palestine, shukran. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you, and may peace be upon you and the mercy of God and God's blessings.
We give thanks, and to all my yogi friends out there, namaste and satnam and aloha, aloha. Oh, things are really heating up in Hawaii, in Lahaina, Maui. Things are going on. We send lots of love energy and lots of protection and lots of divine order in Lahaina and Maui, because the wicked ones raising their ugly head, and we bless we send blessings to Maui, a beautiful land with beautiful people, that the powers are trying to remove the love and the kindness and do other things. So love and blessings to Maui and Lahaina. And we'll see you next time on Friday morning with health and well-being with Viata, right here on YouTube. Your holistic life coach will be on YouTube channel Viata's Tiny House Village, and if Blog Talk's working, will be on